I made call after call after call trying to find someone who would at least help us. And I'm ashamed to say that I always thought if someone took your child, you did something terribly, terribly wrong. I'm ashamed of myself for feeling like that. And I know now that isn't true. And when other people have told me stories, I really didn't listen because I thought they did something wrong. Now I know that isn't true. And please, I hope that anyone who's listening to this will please, please listen if someone's trying to tell you something going on in their life with their child and custody of their children. Please listen to them. And this didn't have to happen. I was working that day and I got 2 messages from Patty, something's wrong here, Mom, you have to come in. When I come in, there was cops and a caseworker there.
Was going to happen, and I had 2 police officers come in the room, children and youth. They said, you need to get up and leave your daughter. I said, no, I'm not. They're like, please don't make us force you out of here. And so I went to a room. They took my daughter, not my daughter, but they took me. My daughter was screaming hysterically. So I asked for Millie, the nurse, to go in and be with her. And then what they did is they accused me of being on drugs, and that if I didn't cooperate, he was going to leave. The caseworker, Gary Sanderson, he was really nasty to me. They threw the paperwork right in my face, and I didn't even do anything. They said, we're taking 24-hour custody of your daughter. And I said, I'll take a drug test. I'm not on drugs. And I'll
Did they say what drugs they thought you were on?
No, they just said, we think you're on drugs. You've been acting funny today. And I said, okay, I'll go take the drug test. My mom had come in at that time. I went down, took the drug test. The drug test was negative. Gary was supposed to call me. He said, once that's cleared in the morning, you can have your daughter back.
That's what the caseworker said?
Yeah. And I still don't have my daughter back.
And will they let you see your daughter how often?
Once a week, on a Thursday for an hour.
For 1 hour. And they watch that through glass?
Yes. And they put us in
how does she do with the visits? What do you think is going on in your granddaughter's mind? Do you have any idea?
She's, I think she's very confused right now. She always had a sparkle and a grin on her face, and now her eyes are, she has all I can say is like a dead look at them, like there's nothing there. And she seems like she's angry. We had originally brought some toys from home that she loved to play with, and she looked at them, and she looked at us, and then she threw them down. And it's like she's not quite sure. And then she looks around in the room like, why am I here? Why am I in this place? And then when we leave, she looks at us with eyes that say, please, please take me. And she doesn't understand why we don't take her home with us. I don't understand either. There's no reason they should still have this child. None. She is loved. She has been spoiled and loved here in his home. And no one can love a child like family can. And the system seems to want, once they take a child, they don't want to give them back again. Even, I think it's more of a feeling they don't want to be wrong, so they have to keep the child as long as they can.
That could be your child going up the road to some foreign house, taken away from you by government for no reason. Tried the drug thing.
I'm not sure I understand.
Well, you tried the drug thing. She passed the drug test. And then you tried the Munchausen's, and she has a response from a doctor that says she doesn't have. Why don't you, in the best interest of the child, release her child?
Well, I think that it's up to the court now. In my understanding, I did try to call Mrs. Shope back.
Can't you get an emergency petition for relief in front of a judge? Of course you can.
I think that we need to have the judge decide. What I understand is there's a hearing already scheduled.
August 28th? You think it's good for this baby to sit another month if she's not supposed to be, if she has no legitimate reason to be away from her mother and grandmother? Do you?
I can't talk about this case.
But I would strongly just request that you let this child go back to their parents until you find some reason to take the child, which really you don't have at this time. And if these mistakes happen, so I'm saying that there's emotional damage occurring to this child day in and day out by being taken away from his mother, her mother and grandmother. So I would ask you to please, in the interest of the county, to keep the county from the pitiful embarrassment that is going to come from this. Put this child back with her mother until you find a reason. You know, the American public would think you find a reason first. Then you take the child. Now you want her to sign releases. You want to dig deeper because you can't find anything to prove your accusations. That's terrible. And that's all I have.
All right.
But I would appreciate, in the interest of this little child, this 13-month-old child, who has been torn away from their parent and grandparent for over a month, that you not sit by complacently and say you are okay in letting this child go through another month of pain and suffering and emotional trauma that will impact her the rest of her life, because that's in the court's hand. It is in your hand. You're responsible.
Oh, okay.
You hope you go back and forth. Yeah, we're going to play one way or the other.
Looks very, very happy.
Yeah.
It's a happy baby there.
How are Happy? You're going home. Going home, sweetie pie. I can't wait to go home. It's been a long time, baby girl. Hey, you went to me.
Making any comment?
So you say to a lot of your clients the clock is ticking? Is that what you say? You threaten them with adopting their baby out, is that right?
I don't threaten parents.
Did you tell them that their clock was ticking and their baby would be adopted out?
Once you read the Act of Adoption State Families and Compliance with Pennsylvania, I just notify parents of the law.
I mean, call after call after call trying to find someone who would at least help us. And I'm ashamed to say that I always thought if someone took your child, you did something terribly, terribly wrong. I'm ashamed of myself for feeling like that. And I know now that isn't true. And when other people have told me stories, I really didn't listen because I thought they did something wrong. Now I know that isn't true. And please, I hope that anyone who's listening to this will please, please listen if someone's trying to tell you something going on in their life with their child and custody of their children. Please listen to them.